Good morning. Today is Friday, April 19th, 2024, and it is 5:06 a.m. All right. Yes, I am blogging in my gown today because I'm tired, but I am going to push through. I have so much to do today to ensure that my weekend goes well, okay? I'm not sure if you guys understand how these Walmart gowns, I sleep my best. I get my best rest in these gowns. It's like no other sleep. So I am going to eventually go throw some clothes on to work out. My sister and I should be walking today. Maybe after she dropped the kids off at school. Let me see the weather. The sun is coming up at 6:03 today. So in another hour. Oh no, it's in the 40s. Okay, so we probably will not walk until about 11 a.m. when it's 50 degrees outside. So sometime this afternoon when it's warmer, because I'm not walking. Yeah, I'm not walking in 41 degree weather. That's cold in Chicago, you know. That's real. 41 degrees is it's cold. So it doesn't. It's about 50 at 11, and then 53 at noon. So we'll probably go around that time, 11, if not noon, today. So I'll throw clothes on then, and of course I will, after my workout, shower, get dressed for the day. But for now, I'm about to do this work in this Walmart gown and robe, okay? But although that I'm tired, like physically tired because I've been doing a lot, I got a decent amount of sleep, I think, yesterday. I tried, since I've been on like this health kick, like when I say health kick, I've been on a health kick all my life. I've been on a diet all my life. I probably was like on a diet when I was drinking Similac, but I have health goals now that I want them to become just, let's say, a normal part of my life, like who I am. For example, drinking a gallon of water daily, exercising 4 to 5 times a week, meal prepping, doing more cooking than ordering out, taking in more vitamins and minerals. So I like sea moss. I need to get some more of that. I don't have that, but I have this, which honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's called AG1. It gives you daily nutrition with 75 vitamins, minerals, and just ingredients for the body. It's vegan friendly, keto, low carb, if that's what you want. I only really drink this when my goddaughter Naila, when she does smoothies, and you don't taste as much. Now I have like these green juices that I get, and that I mix it with that. Sometimes when I mix it with that, I don't like it. It's not about like, it's about what I need. So I need to do better with incorporating this. But there's so many vitamins and so many minerals in here. I'll bore you. I will bore you by reading them off, but you can look it up yourself. It's the AG1 supplement, comprehensive, and convenient daily nutrition. Okay, and they come in these little packs. So when Naila makes us smoothies, I can drink, like, she does a really good job with smoothies. And so I can drink them then. I think she put monk fruit in there instead of It's no sugar. You know, only sugars you get are natural ones from the fruit. So, and they're really good. So I can drink up her smoothie when she makes it, because she does it so well. But if I'm putting it in like in a smoothie that I have, or a green juice, baby, that's the nastiest. Like, yeah, I don't. So, but I said I always get off focus. I forgot what I was saying. But I said all that, I think, to say, yes, I just want health to be a regular part of my life. I'm getting entirely too old to go back and forth with yo-yoing diets and all of that. Like, get it together. So, been working on that. My sister and I have been doing like I'm gonna say 75 soft. It's a 75 hard, and then it's a 75 soft challenge. Or more so soft. And this is day 16 for us out of 75 days. So, we're working out. How I do workouts is I'll do a walk outside, because that helps with my mental health, getting some sunlight. Sometimes, like yesterday, there was no sunlight, but we still walked, and it was very helpful. And then my second workout, we should be doing too, usually is cleaning up, you know, at least for 45 minutes. That's why I call it soft, because I'm not doing any strenuous exercising right now. I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there where I'm doing 2 a day. But for now, the walking and like the getting steps in with cleaning, it's going to have to work for me. My sister Victoria, on the other hand, gets up at 5:45 each morning. I get up about 3:30. Today I got up at 3:45. She gets up about 5:45 and she works out on the Peloton machine, the treadmill, for 45 minutes to an hour, and then she walks outside. So she is literally doing 2 workouts. So, and she's doing a great job with that. So it's workouts, it's food, you know, not eating junk food. Not really like, you know, like keto is like low carb, which I think we're gonna next week do more so of keto. Keto is just not long term. It's just not, for me and for her, it's not, how would I say, realistic. You know, you can do keto. We've done keto for months and lost a whole lot of weight. But the minute you start eating those carbs, you blow up like a blowfish. So that's not realistic for us. But we realized that we could do like some keto type dieting, because it's what it is, or eating maybe for 7 days, you know, at a time, and then go back to low carb, you know, just switching it up for our bodies, and so we won't get bored with it. So we're working on that. We have ordered out, but we've been very conscious. For example, we had chicken pizza, and it was gluten-free, okay? And then the wings, we made sure there was no fried wings. They were oven baked. So stuff like that we did, because this past week was very hectic for both of us. We had a lot going on with work and some other things. We also had sushi. I think we had sushi one day too, which for the most part was great. Only thing is like I am allergic to shoot a lot of things, okay? But shellfish, and also certain type of fish like cod. I just find that as I go. So I'm not a sushi eater, but I found fancy salmon, which is cooked, and it's so good. So it's kind of like a salmon bowls. If you watch the channel that we made, the TikTok salmon bowls, with seaweed and little rice, avocado, cucumber, you know, kind of wrapped up in a roll. The only thing with the salmon roll is fried. It's not a lot, so, you know, every once in a while it's okay to have that. And I think, and ribs, and we just we coupled that with a salad. I am thinking about it. There was a time in my life, probably almost 15 years of me not eating pork. And that's because they used to give me really bad headaches. I started back eating pork, though, probably during quarantine. So it's more than 15 years of my life. I don't know. I'm not good. Well, I'm not going to say what I'm not. Math is not my strongest subject. Let's just say that. So I started back eating pork because I started keto. And so keto is just like, fats, no carbs. So, yeah, that's when I started back and slowly got back into it. But I think I'm going to go back to not eating pork. So, and it's going to be okay. Like, I did it for like 15 years. So I'm going to go back to that. I just remember feeling different when it wasn't in my system. So I'm going to go back to that. Well, I think we're going to try keto. We're going to do some type of menu and figure out what we're going to eat for the week and cook on Sunday, even though Sunday is a very busy day for me. It's a work day. And I'm working from my first client on Sunday at 8. So from 8, well, I'll be up because of class. So I'll be up by 3:30, classes at 4. I see my first client at 8 a.m. And then I have a college essay writing workshop at 5. So my day, it's a long day. And I also have like a training. Yes, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and digital products training with Peach. She did like this training. She's doing this training for her birthday. I think it was the 16th. And it's on Sunday. So I'm going to be going back and forth between that and my clients. But we're going to do meal prep and figure out what we're going to eat. And I think we're leaning towards, we talked about it, we're leaning towards this week coming up, a keto. 7 days of, kind of keto diet. And then the week after is more of a fruit and veggies, like no meat. We're going to switch up some things and just see what works for us. But health goals, we want them to become habits that become a regular part of our lives. That was my point of it. So today, what am I doing today? I have a few things. I'm looking around because it's just, there's so much. So I have some transcripts to send out for one of my clients who's in homeschool. So I don't fully understand. They're counselors for homeschool. And I'm actually going to look into that. Your virtual counselor. I was a high school counselor for 16 years in person. And no shade, but shade. They don't do nothing. This particular school, homeschool, like the student emailed and was like, oh, so, I'm applying to colleges. This was a few months back. How would the colleges get my transcripts? They just give you like a PDF, so you're doing it. Like, what do you do then? Like, if you don't send off transcripts and you don't do the counselor part, where I just remember when students did the Common App, I was responsible, or any college application, I was responsible for sending off transcripts and test scores, official, sealed, or if they take it by email. However, I was responsible as the counselor for that, as well as filling out like the school profile. There's, check a list, council recommendation. It's a lot that you do with the Common App. They don't do nothing, okay? So, she's actually my second homeschool client in the 5 years that I've been doing my own program, my college planning program. It was a little different with my first one because she was homeschooled. She was a professional dancer. She was homeschooled, but the online school that she was attached to, they were a lot more hands-on. And so I feel like we work together to make things happen. I help them, they help me, so we all could help the client. In this case, they don't do nothing. So I said all that to say, I have to send off. I'm resending some transcripts because it was, I guess, some confusion. Because she spent a couple years in public school, and then in some senior year, she spent it in homeschool / this online school. So I think they were a little confused when we sent the transcripts initially. So there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. It looked like 16 schools. Let me make sure it's correct. 16 schools, and I'm sending 2 transcripts to these schools with a little explanation of how the admissions office can read the transcripts, so there's no confusion, and understand it's 15 schools. Understand that the student was in public school for 3 years, and then now she's homeschooled, and those are the only grades that we have right now. So like I said, there was some confusion. She's getting emails from certain schools that I already sent transcripts to, and they were confused. So I'm gonna resend some stuff out with an explanation, along with, I don't think she wants to send test scores. So I wrote out a test score statement. So a lot of schools since COVID, a lot of colleges went test optional, right? Yeah, test optional, or they call it, I think, what's the term? Basically what it is you'll send in your scores, but they say they don't. It doesn't, if you send in your scores, but they're not included in like the admissions decision. You know, they call it like, I'm gonna look up the term. I'm gonna check it out. And I've been talking about this all week, so the fact that I can't remember the term, I think it's because it's not even 5:30 in the morning. That might be the issue. But it's blind test something, option or something. Test optional. But a lot of schools went test optional in COVID because they didn't have a choice. You just did not have a choice because things were closed down and students couldn't take the test. So the focus went more so on GPAs, which research has shown in the last 50 years that GPAs are really what give you an indication if a student is going to be successful in college. It was 50 years of research showing that. However, in our country, we've been standardized test crazy. Do I feel like standardized tests are necessary in certain situations? Yes, to some extent. But whether a student can get into a college program or not, that should have never been. I don't care what nobody said. That should have never been. So we're forced through COVID. That was one positive thing that came out of COVID, was the schools were forced. Thousands, I'm not even gonna say 100,000 of schools were forced to do test optional, which then leveled the bar to some extent for other students, you know, not just of race or color, but also of like more diverse background, or a different type of learning is what I call it, diverse learners, because everybody don't test well. But if I work hard, you know, if I know how to manage time, if I'm passionate about a specific topic or a field, then I may do better, you know, or excel in that area. But just because I can't sit for a test for 4 hours, one day in my life, that's supposed to alter my life or tell me where I can go to school or not go. That has always been, as an educator for over 20 years, that has always been dumb to me. Very dumb. So is test optional. the college allows all applicants to decide for themselves whether they want to submit scores. This particular client does not. I have several clients since COVID have decided to just apply to schools that are test optional. Now, there are some schools, I'm going to look for the actual term. I was hoping to see it here. It's called blind something. Test blind. That's what it is. So for test optional, you could choose to send your scores in or not. It's your decision, okay? Now, test blind is schools will not accept scores at all, okay? Just at all. Like, listen, don't put no scores here. We're looking at your GPA. We're looking at your extracurricular activities. We're looking at letters of recommendation from your teachers, counselors, administrators. We're looking at your college essay, just you as a person. That's what some schools have been doing for a while. But then since COVID, a lot more schools adopted that. And then there's another one where they basically tell you to send in your test score. But again, they're not, and it's not test blind. For some reason, I don't see the term. But basically, they tell you to send your test, okay? Your test scores, but they're not going to consider your test scores when making an admissions decision. And for me, I always tell students, if you're sending your scores, somebody's looking at your scores, and whether they're telling you, oh, it's not going to matter, your score's not going to matter in regards to our admissions decision or anything like that, why do you want them then? What's the point of you wanting the test and you saying you're not going to use the scores to decide whether you're going to admit me or not? What's the point? You don't need them then. That doesn't make sense to me. And I need to find that term because it's going to bother me. You send in scores. No. Here. I'm gonna find that term, y'all. I can't move on without doing it, because I literally been talking about this all week. Now, I still do test prep for my college planning programs for junior year and senior year for several reasons. One, there are scholarships tied to that are tied to test scores. There are still scholarships, even if a school is not requiring you to turn in your test scores, or you allow you to do test optional, or if it's blind test or whatever, scholarships still ask for test scores, because if they have so many applicants, that is a deciding factor for them. So I still do test prep to see if students can go up 50 to 100, sometimes 150, 200 points for scholarships specifically. So in my program, I work with students to get into college, and that's great. But getting into college is not enough if you don't have the money to pay for it, okay? If your parents can't afford it, or you have to go into debt. So I work with students on scholarships to ensure that they have some money. It's not always everything. Most of the time it's not everything, but it's doable. Families can do whatever the payment plan is monthly. I try to get students down to at least down to maybe $5,000 out of pocket cost for the year. That's doable. They can work a work study at school or a job, or parents can pay or help pay a monthly fee to do that. So I try to, work with students. I would say anything over $10,000 for the year is a bit much if you haven't saved for your child. And the average person you don't, because you don't have enough for that. I'm gonna be honest with you. The way things are going, you need several jobs. Like for me, I work for myself. I work 24/7. I got so many streams of income, and I don't even have any kids. I have godchildren. But it's difficult for like even working middle class people to put away for a college fund. People do it, yes, but it's difficult. I think it's really just test blind. I think that's the term. Oh yeah, and they just gave me the list of okay. So anything over $10,000 more, I just think that's just not feasible for the average family with a student or sometimes 2 kids in college. Like you're already paying bills, you got other stuff going on, and then you have to come up with $10,000 or plus. So you end up taking out loans, and loans are slavery. I don't care what nobody say. Slavery. That's why I'm going to be out of debt. Me pay these loans off and leave me alone. And even when working on finishing this doctoral program, I'm going to pay out of pocket. So I need to get this money because I'm not taking out any other loans. And I took out loans for school. You do what you deem necessary for your life. But what I found out later in life, a loan is not an investment. And for some time, that was the language that was being presented when you talk to students about a college education. Oh, you're investing in yourself. No, you're not. You cannot invest in yourself with money that you got from somebody else that you got to pay back with interest. That don't even make sense. Like look at the definition of investment versus loan. They don't even go together. So for a long time, that was the language that a lot of higher education admissions people would use, like you're investing in yourself. No, that's not an investment. I got to pay that back plus interest. I'm indebted to whoever. I come out in 4 years, 5, sometimes 6 years, owing all of this money. And then when I get a job, and depending on what field I'm in, because that's a whole nother subject. I'm trying to make ends meet as a college grad, a college graduate with a degree. And then they tell you, oh, just having a bachelor's is not enough. So it's continuing. Oh, you got to get a master. It's all a scam. And I'm in education. I am for training. I'm for licensure. I am, for people finding their passions. And so there are certain, there's some education and some training that needs to be done. But a lot of this is a scam. Education is a scam in America. Like it is, but I'm getting off. I'm 28 minutes into this vlog and I'm getting off. But going back to, I'm going to send off transcripts for my client, and I started because I got into this tangent on test scores, because what I was saying is I don't usually send off transcripts. I'm not, their counselor does that, like the school counselor does that, but because the student is in homeschool and their counselor or counselors just send them like a PDF, a toolkit, and this is what you do. She's 17. She don't know what to do, like even with that toolkit, even following the directions like that. It's just a lot. And so it's not a part of my college planning services. That is something I'm probably going to add to, and probably not probably that I am, to work on enrolling or providing services for homeschool students and their families and parents for those who want to go to college. Going through this with this particular student is great. Even though, it's not a part of my services, I have no problem with doing it. It's been a little frustrating, but it's worth it. She's frustrated. Her parents are. I am. But we're working out the kinks, so I'll be able to kind of know like all the steps and everything, and then I'll be able to offer these services, same services to homeschool families. There's a lot, since COVID is, I don't know if it's doubled, but the numbers went up in regards to people who decided to homeschool their children. So that's what I need to do. I'm going to do that first because that's been pending, and I finally got everything together.